All right, let's do this. I will call this meeting to order. And we'll start with some intros. Wendy, would you like to kick it off for us in terms of who's new and who needs to be intro?
Sure. So we've got two new people that are with us at the moment. We've got Maggie, who is our new administrative assistant. And we've got Brock Schilling, who is our new board member. We have another new board member, Jay Allen, who was at our meeting in April, but I don't see him here tonight. Do we want to have people? I think we should probably go around and everybody introduce themselves so that the new people know who we are. I'm Wendy. I'm the library director. Been here since forever.
Thank you, Wendy. I'll go next, and well, actually, yeah, let's do library staff yet first. Tim.
Sure. Yeah. I'm Tim. I'm the youth services manager, and I think it was like 3 weeks ago, I celebrated my 10-year anniversary here with the library.
Yay.
So,
Awesome.
yay.
Tegan, how about you?
Hi, I'm Tegan. I'm the adults and
technical.
Oh, that's okay. It happens all the time. I'm the adults and technical services manager, and I haven't been here quite as long as everyone else, but I've been here for a few.
Thank you, Tegan. Maggie, I know you just got introduced, but how about you go? We'll subject you to the new person rule.
I am Maggie, and I'm the new administrative assistant, and I just moved to Madison from Minneapolis.
Good choice. Welcome to the team, Maggie. I'll go Stephen Arnold. I'm the current president of the library board. I've been on the board for a number of years and had the opportunity to serve in a number of roles, including treasurer, vice president, and now president. So that's me. I'll be here until about this time next year. And thank you, Toby. How about we go to Anne? How about you?
Hi, everyone. Anne Camillo. I'm serving on my first full term. I served a partial term that ended this past spring. So welcome to all the new people.
Thank you, Anne. Toby.
I'm Toby Marcial, and I am also serving my first full year, started, I guess, a year and a half ago.
Thank you, Toby. We'll go Ben, and then Brock will finish up with you.
I am Ben Mueller. I'm the library's public school liaison and treasurer. I've been on the board for 5 years now. 6 years, excuse me.
Time flies when you're having fun. Brock, welcome.
Hey, yeah, first board, looking forward to it. If you have any questions or anything, let me know, but looking forward to seeing everyone in person hopefully soon.
Likewise, welcome. It's great to have you. Okay, I think we got everyone. We can continue on with the agenda. No public appearances or non-agenda items, so we can move right to agenda item number 3, approval of the minutes. And we've got the April draft minutes. We'll need a motion to approve the April 2021 minutes, please.
I will motion to approve. Maggie, that's me. Toby.
And Anne will second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion on the minutes? Discussion or questions? Anne, I see your hands up. Yes?
Yes, thank you. I thought the substance of the notes was great. We're just 2 typos that I just thought we probably should correct. And they're at the very end of the minutes. So it says that Camillo noted she was concerned about people not knowing about the quarantine instead of no. And the other one that I thought might.
Got it. Okay.
Got it? Okay. And of course I've got the second one. It's on instead of only. And I'm trying to find it. Because I couldn't figure out how to highlight 2 things at the time. So of course I lost the first one when I highlighted the second one. But it's in that last paragraph, and it's O-N instead of O-N-L-Y.
I will make a note and I will find it.
Terrific. Thank you.
Yes, yes.
All right, thank you for that. And any other questions or comments about the minutes? Okay, let's vote on the motion. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion is passed. And we can move right along to item number 4 on the agenda, the treasurer's report. And we've got the March 2021 financial register as item number 4A.
All right, so going through the registers, there's really not anything remarkable. We've got a couple of large purchases, but they're the normal ones that we see, MG&E and the IT allocation. Everything else is right on par. We did a pretty good job in March in collection spending, so that's ramping up, which is good to see. Any questions? All right.
Brock, are you good to go? Did you get the links to the board packet and board agenda and all that good stuff?
Yep, I have it up on my, kind of why I'm looking all over different screens, but yeah, got it.
Perfect.
All right, so I'm going to move on to the overview. Again, nothing really very exciting this month. If you see that collection spending's up from February, which is good. We are having some issues with one of our vendors not shipping us the items that we've ordered in a timely manner. We're also then struggling with being able to pay them. I keep trying to pay them for things that we have purchased and they don't respond. So Tegan has done a lot of legwork and we are setting up with another vendor. So I think we'll keep this one for AV items because they've been doing a good job with those. I think it's a whole separate operation that does AV items, but we are trying a new vendor for adult print items. So fingers crossed. I think we're going to see some ups and downs in spending over the year because of this, at least for the next couple of months. But hopefully it'll even out with a new vendor. I don't think there's anything else remarkable in here. Are there any questions? Anything jump out at anybody? Toby. Oh, you're muted.
Sorry, I was muted.
That's all right.
I had a question and I'm sorry, I know we've covered it. Why didn't we have anything in utilities in January?
That happens every year. So
Okay.
we'll have a double payment later in the year,
Okay.
and it's just how their billing cycles
Yes,
work.
okay, thank you.
Yep. If there's no other questions, we can go ahead and approve that.
Okay, so
Wendy, sorry, I had a
Yeah.
question.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah. Yeah.
That's not really a question, but a comment on the utilities also. Is that 8,000? That was, I mean, quite a jump from the month before. And I know we had some really, really hot, awful weather. Is this unexpected or?
This is from March, so this isn't going to cover the real
Oh,
hot
that's
weather.
good.
If you remember, we have had a lot of work done on the chiller in the last 6 months. So the end of last year and the beginning of this year, we spent about $8,000 fixing the chiller. Ironically, what that's done is put our utility bill back where it normally is, which is $7,000 or $8,000 a month. So I keep joking with Kevin that we spend a lot of money so that we can spend a lot of money. But I think it is working correctly now. So I think we should probably expect to see between 7,000 and 9,000 a month. That's been typical since we opened the library. So I think that's probably what we're going to look at getting back to.
Okay, thanks.
Yes.
I will motion to approve the financial register for March.
Thank you.
I'll second. Ann.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded. We'll vote on the motion. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion is passed. We'll move right along to item number 5, no unfinished business. Item number 6, new business, and 6A, election of new officers.
Okay, that's me. I found out how Dick Cheney got involved in becoming vice president, because when you're on the nominating committee, you then get nominated. So I have accepted the role of vice president for the next year. I'm hoping that Ben will do the same for treasurer. He's done a great job. Thumbs up, thank you. And I guess we just need to approve that. Is that what has to happen next, Wendy?
So I would present that slate and then see if there's any discussion.
Okay. Stephen, do you want to present the slate or am I supposed to do that?
Either way.
If you could, Toby, that would be appreciated. Thank you.
Okay. So we need a motion to approve of slate where we don't have to do Stephen because we did that last time.
We
The
should do it.
extent
Let's
benefits.
put him in
Oh,
anyway.
okay. With Stephen Arnold as president, myself as vice president, and Ben as treasurer. Can we have a motion to approve that?
I'll make a motion to approve as noted.
I don't think I can second it.
All right, I'll second it.
Okay. Any further discussion? Sorry, Toby, I didn't mean to jump in. Do you want to finish
No.
it out? Or I
No,
think
sure.
I
No, any further discussion? If not, can we vote on that, please? All in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Excellent. And I'm going to jump in here and talk about committee assignments because we've got some new folks that need to be assigned. I'm going to ask Brock if you would be on the facilities committee. That does not entail regular meetings. Basically what it entails is if we have a big project that we're working on, you'll get an email from me kind of with details about what we're planning. And I'll have you weigh in on whether you think it's worth moving forward. I think the most recent one we did this with was replacing the meeting room table. So that was a pretty significant expense. And so I just reached out to the facilities committee via email to get an okay to move forward with it. It could be something like carpet replacement, furniture replacement. If there's any kind of large issue with a mechanical system, it would just be reaching out to make sure that the committee is okay with moving forward. Are you all right with that, Brock?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Excellent. And then I'm going to put Jay Allen on the strategic planning committee. And he doesn't get to say no because he's not here. So we're done. So that leaves for everybody else on the board. So we've got strategic planning, which is Jay and Chris. Facilities is Ben and Brock. And personnel is Stephen, Ann, and Toby. All right. Very good. Thank you, everyone.
Do you need a vote on any of that?
I don't think so.
We're good to go?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so that finishes out item 6A, election of new officers. Item 6B, stipend discussion.
All right, so we do this every year, but I think we're going to have a little bit more of a conversation about it this year. So in the history of the library board, the board has declined to accept a stipend for their work, but most committees and boards and commissions in the city, members do get a $25 stipend for each meeting that they attend. Early on, I think it was the founding board that was also running a capital campaign that felt like the best move for them was to not accept a stipend, to take money away from the library. And I'll say in our first 5 or 6 years, we had such a tight budget that we just continued that. Things are a little bit better now. I think we're more established. We've got more, the levy has gone up, as have expenses, but not, it wouldn't be a huge stretch. So the maximum amount that this would amount to in any given year would be $1,800, and that seems very manageable to me. So I checked in with the finance department. We would need to add a new account to pay this out of. And because we have already voted to not accept these in 21, what we're looking at is for meetings that you would attend in 22, you would be paid in January of 23. And each of you could decide either to contact the finance department and fill out paperwork to receive the stipend or to fill out a waiver to decline the stipend. So each of you could decide on your own whether you want to accept it or not. That doesn't have to be public knowledge. That doesn't have to be a discussion. That would be a private decision for each of you. But I do think that we've got room in the budget to do it. And I do feel like, we appreciate the time that you spend at meetings. And so I would not at all be against it, but it is a decision that we should make as a board if we're gonna allow stipends or not. And
Okay, so,
discussion.
so if I heard that right, Wendy, we're saying we should make the call as a board, whether we potentially accept it or not, and then it's an individual
Right.
decision after
Right.
that.
Everybody will have to fill out paperwork one way or the other.
Yeah,
Is really the only downside here, is that you're gonna have to fill out one or the other forms. And we'll budget the $1,800, but I think it'll be fine.
I mean, I don't want to sort of bias the discussion. I think about though the civic duty that we're fulfilling here, and I think about one of the sort of strategic pillars of the library strategy, which is this sound kind of financial base and kind of making sure we run this business by having things like a account balance and that sort of thing. So I personally would like to recommend that we don't accept stipends as a board, and we sort of have that as a small token of our piece of helping with the sound financial base for the library. But again, easy for me to say as I'm exiting, not as kind or empathetic to those who are going to be sticking around for potentially years.
I will take the opposite viewpoint, just to have a discussion here, that someone that serves on the board for 3 years at basically $300 a year, you're talking almost $1,000 after 3 years. That might help someone with rising taxes on their home, their car insurance, etc. And if we give people the opportunity to decide on their own whether their financial situation is fine to waive that, at least we're doing that individually. And I'm lucky enough to be able to waive that. But I also remember when I was a starting off new teacher and didn't make a whole lot of money, and $300 a year might have been a big deal for me back then. So just the other side of the coin.
Yeah, I love that point of view, Toby, and putting into the individual's hand, as well as it sort of makes sure that we're not unintentionally, being less inclusive than we could be in terms of who could be on the board.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
I will put forth that I was a first-year teacher when I joined the board, and while I was financially capable of handling it, clearly I'm still here. I would not have said no to the $300 when I was 27 and be paying loans and things.
Well, for that reason, I might move.
Anne has her hand
Anne?
up.
Yeah, I would say that I would also agree that this should be an individual decision. For some of the reasons that have already been expressed, I think it increases our inclusivity as far as who can be a board member, that this is not something that would stop somebody from them serving. So I would like it to be an individual decision.
I'm sold.
All right, let's,
Yeah. So do we need a motion to basically
yes, allow stipends
allow stipends?
for starting it for the 2022.
Okay, so can we have a motion to allow stipends starting for the 2022 board term?
Make that motion. Anne?
Toby will second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Let's, any further discussion? We'll vote on the motion. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion is passed.
Excellent. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Good decision.
Good discussion. How about we'll go to item 6C, policy reviews, and let's see, we've got several. So 6C1, adult and technical services. 6C1A, collection management.
Yes, hello. So for the collection management policy, we did have one minor change to that, and that is who we accept purchase requests from. So before we had it listed as just any patron, and then we changed that to from patrons who are Fitchburg residents. Just because we've been getting a number of strange requests from people outside our system. Some of them don't even have a library card. So we just felt that was a better fit for purchase requests.
I think we're having people that are trying to sell us their own books. And I think we're having people that are trying to, like, books that they've written, but also then books that they're trying to sell. Like if they're selling books on eBay or something like that, and they're suggesting that we purchase them, sometimes for exorbitant amounts of money.
Yes.
So. And I think that was the only change in that one, right?
That was, yes.
Okay, excellent.
Okay, so I think we're gonna have to do a motion on each of these.
Yes, please.
individually. So we'll need a motion to accept the changes to the collection management policy, please.
Toby will
motion.
vote.
Sorry, Toby.
That's okay. I will second Ben's motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? We'll move to a vote. All in favor, aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion has passed. We'll move on to item 6C1B, photocopy and copyright policy.
And we did not have any changes for that policy this year.
Okay, that was a quick one. Any,
Yes.
we'll need a motion to approve the photocopy and copyright policy as is.
I will motion to approve.
I will,
And Anne gets a second, is that right?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
I'll see it. I can't wait for these to be back in person again. It feels like playing air hockey a little bit.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? We'll move to a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion has passed. And moving on, item 6C1C, reconsideration form.
Another easy one for you. We didn't have any changes for that form either.
just to clarify, this is what someone would fill out if they felt like there was something in our collection that shouldn't be there. The history of this form is that we've had multiple people come up and complain about something that they have read or watched. And then when we offer them the form, they take it, but they almost never fill it out. I don't know if they've ever filled it out.
I don't think since I've been here.
No, and I think the real kicker is that you have to read, view, or listen to the entire work, which typically is not something that they want to follow through with, except for the one person who complained about a DVD that they watched 14 times and they were sure was inappropriate. So it goes both ways, but anyway, we need to have this in place because if we don't, we'll need it. So
It's a pretty standard policy, I think, across most libraries.
yeah, I think it is.
All right. Well, we will need a motion to approve the reconsideration form.
Okay, I will move to approve the reconsideration form.
I will second this one.
Phew.
All right. Look at all that teamwork. Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? We'll go to the vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, no. And motion has passed. Thank you, Tegan. We'll go to item
Thank you.
6C2A, Code of Conduct.
Excellent, that one's me. Code of conduct, we're looking at adding 2 changes to the policy. The first one is in the unacceptable behavior category. And that is basically saying that patrons may not take photographs or videos of other library users without their permission. And I think we've had a kind of awareness of people exercising their First Amendment right to come into the building and videotape the building and staff, and that is completely acceptable. But without someone else's permission, it's not acceptable to follow them around the building and just record them, I guess. So we want to put that one in there.
Tim, I have a question on that. Is
Sure.
is that not acceptable to us, or is it not acceptable to the Supreme Court of Wisconsin?
That's a great question.
So they have ruled, libraries typically used to say that you couldn't film anyone, including staff in libraries. And it was determined by the courts that that you can film in a public building and public staff. So the staff can be filmed, but
Yep.
this is to protect the privacy of patrons, both of who just are using the library. So we may have someone who's in a difficult home situation that doesn't want to be pictured at the
Yeah.
library, but also like what you're actually doing at the library. So what books you may be carrying around, what websites you might be on.
No, I think it's a great idea. I just wanted to make sure that what we're setting up here is in fact legal.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Mhm.
Okay,
This is what's being recommended based on the First Amendment audits that are
okay.
kind of happening around. So
Good question. Yeah. And then the second thing that we were looking at is a change to, it's in the room designation spot. And that's the Family Computing Center is available on a first come, first served basis. And it's for parents and caregivers with children age 7 years or younger. I'm not sure if you know where it is. It's up on the second floor, and it's a room where they could go and they can keep their kids with them. Maybe a child needs some extra attention or something is boogieing off on them, and they want to work together in an enclosed area. It works out really well, and we thought that we'd put it in the policy.
I think this also prevents people from trying to use this as an extra study room.
Oh, yes.
For
Mhm.
like a tutoring situation. So this is really with parents with little kids who aren't comfortable being in the tech center. And it helps other people in tech center too, because it keeps the volume level down in there. So
Yeah. And we do get quite a few tutors, and if it was available, it would not be available for the intended audience.
Yeah. Yep.
So it is only available to those people.
Correct. If you have a
Correct?
child age 7 and younger, then it would just be available to the parent or the caregiver and the child. Yeah.
Do we
When
need to
they're
have
there-
the word, do we need to have the word only in there?
Let me take a peek.
I don't know that it's necessary.
Because as it reads, I think anyone could go in there, but it is available to people who have young children. So if you wanted to exclude people who have, a 12-year-old, then I think we would have to say that. Right? Anyone?
I'm reading the other one. So the first bullet there, we say the children's area is for children birth through 12. I mean, do we mimic that and just say the Family Computing Center is for parents and caregivers?
That
And
would
then
do
put
it
the-
then.
And
Yeah,
then
we
put
could do
the
that.
flip flop, the first come, first serve, because that's the other thing is that I think tutors would like to reserve this room for their own
Yeah.
personal use every single day of the year.
Yep.
So I think we can reword that to say Family Computing Center is for parents and caregivers with children aged 7 years or younger. It is available on a first come, first served basis.
Mhm.
Does that cover it?
Thank you, Wendy.
Okay. So then when we make a motion, we're gonna move to approve. as
Sorry,
amended-
Wendy.
as
I
edited.
had
Yes.
another,
Yeah.
another similar concern. In the first sentence of that, when we say we should provide a dedicated space for children and teen patrons, I was wondering, because it out later, if we should say to provide dedicated spaces
You're
for
right.
children and teen
Oh.
patrons.
Yep. Good call.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
Excellent. Thank you.
Ooh, that's better. Okay.
And so those were the two proposed changes to the code of conduct policy for this year.
Good. Tim, did you get all the feedback that you
Did.
needed?
Yep, absolutely.
We got it
And
too.
I think Wendy was taking it too. So
Okay.
Yep.
excellent.
Yep.
So we need a motion to approve the, which one is this?
Code of conduct.
Sorry, code of conduct as amended.
Yes. As edited. Let's say as edited.
As edited in
Yes.
this discussion.
I will make that motion this time to approve as edited.
All right, Toby will second it.
Moved and seconded. Chance for any further discussion? We'll vote on the motion. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion is passed. Okay, moving along to the next agenda item, 6C2B, record retention policy.
Yeah, and that's another easy one. Look through it. It's all good to go. Everything's up to date. So we're not recommending any changes for this policy.
And in fact, we can't because this is a DPI.
Oh, all right. Then let's, we will need a motion to approve the record retention policy.
Toby will give a motion to approve the record retention policy.
I will second that.
And
Ben will-
And I was second with Ben.
I guess I'll,
I'm gonna give that one to Ben.
Okay, sounds good.
Next meeting, Brock has to second everything, so. we can
I like it.
Okay, we can move to the vote on the motion. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion is passed.
Excellent. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, Tim.
Yep.
And item 6C3, rescind COVID-19 policy. Woo-hoo.
Well, who thought we'd be doing this so soon? If I knew this, we probably wouldn't have passed it last time. So this is the policy that we approved in, I think, April, in preparation for opening on May 7th, and it required masks and social distancing. And it let us have a time limit for people in the building and said you couldn't sit on the floor because we had taken most of the furniture away. Had we known that the CDC and Public Health of Madison and Dane County was going to make the decisions they did, we probably would have just stuck through all of May, but we did not. So we had this policy in place when we opened. I think it was helpful. We did do a greeter station in the vestibule to make sure that people were wearing masks, and almost, I would say like 99.5% of people were great about it. But things have changed. We are now recommending masks, but not requiring them. We have put a lot of the furniture back out. We're not limiting time. So things are largely back to normal. So I think we need to rescind the policy. We have taken it down around the building already. So I just want to kind of formalize that and have the board rescind it.
All right,
Any
thank you.
questions?
Wendy, I'm not sure if this is the place to ask it, but I'll ask it. You can push me off to the side if this is the wrong place. Will we be opening to normal hours because of this COVID
No.
rescinded?
No.
We will not. So
We are, no, and I'll talk about that more in my library director's
Okay.
report. But no, this just takes away the specific masks, social distancing, time limit, sitting on the floor, asking people to leave if they seem sick.
okay.
Yeah.
I think I heard Brock motion to rescind the policy, but that might have been just because I'm outside.
I'll motion to approve it.
Excellent.
What was that, Ben? I heard Ben second it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my mic is indeed on. Yes, I will second it.
Very good. Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? We'll go to the vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, no. And the motion is passed.
Excellent. Thank you. And Tim and Tegan get to go home now. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye,
Yeah,
thank you.
Nice to
Thank
meet
you.
you. Yep.
Okay, agenda item 7, president report. Just a couple quick things first. I hope everybody saw the note Wendy sent with the board calendar, just thinking ahead to what's coming this summer, this June meeting, several things, and then July and August a little bit lighter with just budget focus. I will be out in August, so Toby, I'm hopeful you'll be here if you could chair the meeting if you're available in August. What we'll do in July and August is start the process for Wendy's review, and then we'll spend part of the September meeting in closed session discussing that evaluation of Wendy, and then share those results with her after that session. So that's just a quick kind of preview of what's coming up, say, for the third quarter. Wendy, any other comments on the calendar, unless you were going to talk about any of that during your
Nope.
report?
Nope.
Okay, that's one thing. The other thing is that for the sorry, Toby, I can wait. You were going to say something?
Yeah, Stephen, I'm looking at the 18th, and I believe I will be gone on the 18th of August. So what do we do there, Wendy?
We can ask Ben to run the meeting.
And
Okay.
will you have a quorum?
We should still have a quorum, yes,
Okay,
as long as everybody else can come. If anybody else lets me know that they're unavailable, then we'll just cancel the August meeting.
okay.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
No problem. Not a problem at all. The other thing related to the director's evaluation, there is a new competency that's been added this year related to diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so I'll get that into the survey tool that we use to fill out Wendy's evaluation. But I just got that update from Wendy, where Wendy, you learned about it recently and shared that with me just a couple weeks ago or so.
Yeah.
The only other comment that I wanted to make was just just to recognize Wendy and the whole team for their work during the COVID pandemic. And I know this is a weird moment, and we just rescinded the COVID policy, and it's moving into the opening things back up and trying to do that in a way that feels safe and comfortable for patrons and staff. And I just wanted to recognize Wendy. I think you've done an excellent job of managing through this process, and I feel like you're well positioned to kind of move into this next phase, although I'm sure there are things about it that are also challenging as people talk about returning to work and returning to more active and open library. But just wanted to say thank you for everything you've done to get us to today. And my sense is that you're well positioned for what's to come over these next couple of months.
Thank you.
That is it for the president report. We can move on to item 8, the director report.
Sure. So we'll continue to talk about reopening a little bit. Things have gone really well. I think we were all a little bit nervous, very nervous, I think, going into the May 7th. Just like the first days that we were opening the doors. I think everybody was just nervous if people were going to wear masks, or we were going to have to fight about that a lot. And it really, for the most part, was not an issue. People have been really good. People have been so happy to be back in the building. It was kind of awesome to be on the greeter station for that first week or two, because people were just so happy to come in. And I'll say most people have been really good about like coming in, getting the holds and heading out. So we didn't really struggle with like people wanting to just stay here all day. Having said that, it was also kind of a relief to move into June 2nd when we didn't have to worry about masks. We are still recommending that staff wear their masks when they're on a service point, so that patrons that are masking feel more comfortable, and to kind of encourage people to mask. We've had a couple of people come in without one and ask for one just because staff are wearing them. They say they don't mind wearing it, and if we're going to do it, they can do it. And we've had people that have just chosen not to. So we still have the plexi up at the desks, which I think the staff are grateful for, just as we kind of ease out of the caution that we've been under for a long time. But we are starting to ease up on masks in staff areas and on the 2 days that we're closed for curbside services. I will say when we were open in May, we were seeing about 200 people a day. Pre-COVID, we would normally see 600 people a day. So it was about a third. And certainly visits were shorter. I think that's still true, but we are now seeing about 350 people a day. So visits are up. People are happy to be coming in. Having said that, people are also still really enjoying curbside pickup. So there were some libraries that said as soon as they opened, curbside pickup went to nothing and they just phased it out. And we are not having that experience. So we are still, it's gone down, but it has not gone down to the point where I feel like we can stop doing it. So I feel like right now it's working really well. We're open to the public Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. We flipped over Saturday from a curbside day to an in-person day. I think 2 weeks ago, just because Saturday just seems like a day that a lot of people can have the time to get here. So we wanted to be cognizant of that. And Tuesday, Thursday, we're doing curbside pickup. And I think that is going to work really well for us through the summer. We're closing an hour earlier on days that we're open to the public than we normally did. I think all of those hours I expect them to go back to normal after Labor Day. We'll also resume Sundays at that point. So then I think staff schedules go back to what they were pre-COVID. I think at that point, I'm hopeful we can have the meeting rooms open. We'll stop quarantining materials. The thing that I think we're not certain how it's going to roll out is going to be in-person programming. I think especially with kids not being vaccinated or not being eligible to be vaccinated, I think we're going to have to really think about, I just don't think we can go back to a normal story time schedule. I think we're going to have to look at doing programs with registration so that we can control the size of the group. And I think we're probably going to have to require masks unless vaccines become available for kids before then. And then that's a different conversation. But my guess is after Labor Day, we're doing in-person programs for kids, smaller size, registration required and masks required. And I will certainly update you if our opinions on that change between now and then. But yeah, I think we'll be mostly back to normal by then. Does that sound good to everybody?
Yeah, I have a couple questions.
Yeah.
We are squeezing the number of people into fewer days as opposed to opening on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I have a concern with the staff that if we were open all the normal days, then we'd have fewer people in the library at a given time. So what was your thought on that? And what would I answer should somebody ask me, why aren't we open now?
I think that because our numbers are not close to what they were pre-COVID and people's visits are much shorter, I'm not concerned about that yet. I haven't had a time in the building yet that I have felt like it was overly crowded in any area, even down in the like holds and self-check area, which is where we really thought we would bottleneck. We really haven't seen too much of that. So I think if we get further down the road and we feel that way, then we can definitely switch over. Or if curbside really drops off, I think either one of those things, we could precipitate a switch over earlier than Labor Day.
Okay,
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my answer to somebody who asks is that there are enough people who want curbside that we're continuing to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's all I have to say about reopening. Any other questions? Okay. The other thing I wanted to share is that the Story Walk at McKee Farms Park is open. We're super excited about that. We spent a very hot Thursday morning last week out installing them. So Kevin basically designed the holder for the book. So it's a book a picture book that's been cut up. People don't like to hear that, and laminated so that we can put it on display boards. And the display boards are made out of cedar with a plexi cover. And they are attached to the lamp posts around the perimeter sidewalk.
Yep.
And we did that in conjunction with the Parks Department because they don't have to mow around it any more than they had to mow before around the lamp post. So they were real happy about that. We're planning to change the story out 3 times a year. So spring, summer, and fall. And then we will take them down in the fall and store them until the spring, just so that they have a longer lifespan. And so we don't have to worry about plows and that kind of thing. I know they take the plows around that walk, so it might be a little dangerous. So as we were putting it up, people were following us and reading it, which was fantastic. It's been really good to see. Yeah, so we'll have to keep an eye on it to make sure like it's sturdy and it stays put where it's supposed to, but we use some pretty sturdy clamps on the back. So I think we're very happy with it. That was funded by the Friends of the Library, so we gave them credit on a logo on the front of each of the kiosks, as well as the library logo. Yeah, but that's been something we've been talking about doing for probably 3 years now. So really happy to have that done. You should go check it out if you have a chance.
I did take a look at it when I walked yesterday,
Yeah.
and it's adorable. It's really, really cute and easy. The height of it is great for little kids. Just well done.
Good, thank you. We had a lot of talk about which direction to run it around the park. And I hope we made the right choice. All right, we have statistics, which I don't think say a whole lot yet. I mean, you'll see that numbers are up in May. I think that's obviously be expected because we're open. People are coming in, not just checking out holds, but checking out other things. I'm putting a door count in there. So we have door counters on the gates, but they're pretty difficult to use, and we have 3 sets of gates, and I really didn't need all of that information. So we bought just a set of people counters that you attach to either side of the front doors, and we're just checking those after every day. I'm just interested to see at what point we do get up to maybe pre-COVID limits. So I'm tracking that on the days that we're open now, and so I think 350 people a day is great for right now. I think that'll continue to go up. So I'm happy with that.
About 600 pre-COVID.
Yep. Yep. All right, the other thing that I wanted to talk about, and this is in the packet, we got a letter from the Dane County Library Service Board. There were 2 things in this letter that I wanted to point out to you. So the first is that they have chosen to keep our payment for 2022 from Dane County consistent with what they gave us this year. Typically, that is something that is calculated out based on use of all the different libraries in Dane County, and we have cross municipal and cross township payments. It was such a strange year with people being closed for so long that they very graciously agreed to just keep our payment. So our payment this year was $83,300, and we will get that again next year. So that it's very nice to know that at this point. I just started the budget today. So that's a good thing to know. The other thing that they talk about in here is that for 2023, they're just going to take 2020 out of the equation, which I think is the smartest thing to do. And I think also is also a very gracious thing for them to offer. You know, it's just a strange, you know, some people opened earlier than others. Some people were checking out all of their holds before they were checked out to get their numbers up because they were worried about this specific thing. So this kind of takes the pressure off. So I just wanted to share this so that you all know that they are doing a really nice thing for all of us. All right.
That's great.
The other thing is sort of related to that I'll let you know is that we had talked about how budget was going to be affected by COVID, and the levy isn't affected by that. Property taxes are still what they are. The one thing that I had been worried about was adjacent county payments. We usually get about $12,000 from that every year. And I was worried because use was way down. But it turns out if you look at the formula, we checked out fewer items, but that makes our cost per circulation cost much higher. So that number is actually going up in 2022, which is not what I expected. Only by about $700, so not dramatically. But we're not taking a hit there, which I really expected that we would. So as I said, I just got the okay to start the budget from the finance department today. You can see I've started my post-it note process behind me. So yeah, so things are, I don't have a lot of detail about what net new construction will be. So I don't know exactly what our increase will be. But things are not looking bad. I'm hopeful.
Yeah.
All right. And that's all I have for the library director report.
Can you expand on the color scheme of your sticky notes and the thought process there?
I don't really have one. It's kind of what's closest at hand. I am kind of trying to match them to what I did last year, which I have over here.
Oh, yeah.
Just because I know what color to look for when I'm looking for certain things. So, yeah.
Very good. Okay, we can move on to agenda item 9, committee reports.
All right, I don't have anything for strategic planning. For facilities, I have two pieces of good news. Our new meeting room tables arrived and they are fantastic. They are much easier to tilt up and down. And they also have much better casters on them, so they're easier to move around. So we have swapped out all of the old ones, and we are getting ready to sell them on surplus. So that's all very exciting news. The other thing that we are in the process of, and Ben knows about this because I had to email him about it. We brought in an electrician. So we have $19,450 budgeted this year to start converting our fluorescent lights over to LED. This is before most people's time, but when we built the library, LED lights were prohibitively expensive. And so they chose to do geothermal and some other things to get the LEED status, but we were not able to do LED lighting. Prices have really come down. I expected it to be much more expensive, but we had an electrician come out and look at the fluorescent fixtures in the staff area upstairs, the staff area downstairs, in the meeting room, which are all a similar type of fixture. And they quoted us just over $5,000 to change those areas over. I was expecting it to be 15. So it seems like a really reasonable price. There are two options. You can either rewire your current fluorescent fixture to take LED bulbs and no ballast, or you can replace it with an LED panel. The LED panels have been installed recently in the police department, and I hear they are very bright and you can't control that. But also more expensive, just because these are, if we can keep the fixtures we have and not put them in the landfill, I feel good about that too. So that was the option we went with. The pricing was super reasonable. The quote was only good for 14 days because they are worried about the cost of materials going up. So we jumped on it, and Kevin is getting ready to schedule them. I think when we're done with this phase of it, we are going to move right into doing some of the public areas. You've probably never bothered to look up and count lights in this building, but there are a lot of them. So this is going to take a little while, but I'm really hopeful that we're going to get through a lot more of the building with the $19,000 we have this year than I thought we were. And if we can do it on Tuesdays and Thursdays when we're closed to the public, all the better. So we're going to get as much of this done as we possibly can. So that's exciting. And that is also, Toby, that might bring our, Ann asked about the power bill. That might bring the power bill down. I don't know that it'll be significant, but it's something that we can keep our fingers crossed about. All right, that's everything for facilities. Personnel, Maggie's here. Welcome, Maggie. Super excited about that. So this is her first week and she's at a board meeting, which is very brave. The other position I want to talk about is our evening custodian. So at the library, we have two half-time custodians. One is a morning position and one is an evening position. We also share a full-time custodian with City Hall. And then we have Kevin, who's the building and grounds manager, who's at the building. The evening position has become vacant again. And Kevin and I did some counting, and this is going to be the 9th time we've filled this job in 10 years. The candidate pool that we got was not good. It was very small. I think we need to really rethink what this position is. The morning position we filled one time in 2011. So I think it's the hours, we asked them to work 7 to 11 in the evening, and that's so that they have time when the building is closed to clean bathrooms and floors. So Kevin and I are looking at different options of either, do we try to have 2 morning people that can work in different areas of the building? Do we try to go for a full-time position? I have a meeting next week with HR and finance to talk about what kind of the options are. The upside of this happening right now is that we're going into budget, so we can look at what we could possibly do in 2022 differently. But I think we've got to make a change. It just hasn't been working the way it is.
Wendy, is the salary the same for the morning and the evening?
Yes.
Do we have an option of offering someone more to work those hours in the evening, or we do not have that option?
We have a little bit of leeway, but not a lot.
Okay.
There are a couple of steps we can work within, but not a lot. I'll also say the evening position, you know, it's mostly unsupervised. So Kevin's day is over at 3:30 or 4. This person comes in at 7. They see some of the managers for a couple of hours. But you know, they've got 2 hours in this building where they're the only person here. So I think safety might be a concern, but I also think performance issues have certainly come up because this person is not supervised. So I think it's just a smart thing to do. You know, we created it the way it was when we opened, and I think meant to kind of reevaluate it sooner. And I think this is just sort of forcing our hand. So I will keep you updated on how that planning process goes. Okay. All right, that's all for committee reports.
Okay, thank you, Wendy. We're moving right along then to item 10 on the agenda, announcement. The only announcement is next meeting is Wednesday, July 21st, 5:30, and we'll do that over Zoom. And that takes us to item 11, and we'll need a motion to adjourn, please.
So motioned.
I will second it.
Been moved and seconded. We'll vote on that motion. All in favor, aye.
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 Opposed, no. Motion has passed and we can adjourn. Thank you all very much.
Excellent.
Enjoy this summer. We'll see you in a month.
Yes, thanks everyone.